Now, Radio Winchcombe, it's time to bring on my first guest on today's show, and I am so excited. And what a whirlwind it must be for this lady. So let's say hello to SuRie. Hello.
Hello there. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. First of all, how are you feeling? Because less than 2 weeks ago, you're watched by hundreds of millions of people representing us in the Eurovision, and it must be just a whirlwind for you right now.
Yeah, that's it. It really has been quite an adventure, with obviously all sorts of surprises, but you know that doesn't taint what was an amazing experience. It really was. It's been fantastic. I'm feeling good, thank you.
And in regards to obviously when you found out you were selected, how did you feel? Because that must have changed your life when you found out that you've been selected from the UK to represent us. Was that just the most incredible feeling?
Yeah, it was. It was such a special night, that one, back in February in Brighton. And it is such an honour to be a part of the Eurovision Song Contest in any capacity. But suddenly having the opportunity to kind of take the platform as the lead artist and do it for your country, quite an overwhelming feeling in a really positive way, yeah.
And a lot of people don't realise, for months prior to the actual show, you go around to loads of different countries, kind of getting to know people, getting to meet fans from other countries. So do you know roughly how many places you visited in the months up to that?
I haven't tallied it up, actually. I might have to now. But it was a few. It was a fantastic process, the lead up to Eurovision. And as you say, the opportunity to go places I'd never been but always wanted to, like Tel Aviv. Had an amazing experience there with the promotion and a big performance for 30,000 people.
Wow.
It was some incredible highlights before we'd even got to Lisbon and before we'd even got to the main show. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Now, every year we have the same kind of talk. A lot of people say, oh, it's political, it's this, it's that, the song's not great. This year, you had so much support from the off. People were saying, hang on a minute, this song's completely different. People really loved it. It was played on lots of radio stations, which doesn't always happen with a Eurovision song. So you must have been so overwhelmed by that response before you even started.
That was wonderful. I mean, the song certainly spoke to quite a few people, and still is doing so. And even if it speaks to one person, that's the joy of music, that you can't please everyone, and why should you? But it certainly was reaching out to quite a few people, and I was sort of getting messages on social media on a very regular basis. And now after Eurovision, it's a lot on a daily basis. People just saying, look, I'm going through certain things, but the sort of hopeful message in this song and those lyrics and that phrase, storms don't last forever, is just kind of keeping me going. And that's obviously a really, really lovely thing to hear. And that's sort of why you do what you do.
Now, obviously, it wasn't plain sailing for you. And
no.
with that incident with the stage invader, I mean, first of all, the eruption of support you had was just incredible from the public and celebrities. But when you're on that stage and he came up, what first went through your mind? Because I couldn't even imagine being in that situation.
It all happened very quickly.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of time to feel fear, in all honesty. The performer instinct in you just kicks in. And although the mic was sort of tussled out of my hands, I turned away for a moment as security were getting him off stage. But as I turned back, the mic was on the floor, and my instinct was just to pick it up and finish the song because the crowd was still with me. They were chanting, they were singing. So the adrenaline's really pumping. I mean, I think then the emotions, the shock and the anger and the fear and all the upset hits you off stage. That then very much happened backstage. But in that moment, in that song, I wanted to finish the song. And that's all that mattered to me, really.
And what I loved was when you got the mic back, you saw that determination in your face. And it was almost like, do you know what? This is my moment. I'm finishing this. And the support you got was it was amazing to watch. It really, really was. And I loved how you literally became the nation's sweetheart. The support was just amazing, wasn't it?
Thank you. It was. And obviously, yes, there's a lot to process now in hindsight with that moment, even if on stage it all happened sort of quite quickly in a bit of a surreal thing. But what I will remember more than anything else is that surge of noise, that wall of noise and love at the end of that track, which was completely overwhelming. Again, in a beautiful way, I get goosebumps all over, sort of reliving that. And that's the memory that I want to take from Eurovision, rather than what happened sort of 30 seconds prior, definitely.
And if you watched it back, you would see Graham Norton. He was so supportive to you. He really was. So when did you see him after the show, and what did he say?
Unfortunately, he's the one member of the team that I didn't get to see.
Oh.
I think I saw everybody else. Obviously, I came off stage. Obviously, there was the rest of the show to do and everything, but security was quite intense, and they really wanted me out of the venue. It all got a bit serious. It was all a bit sad, and I didn't get to say goodbye properly to a lot of the lovely BBC team that I'd worked with so hard for so many months. So I'm now trying to play catch up, and I'm really going to try and see everybody, including Graham, in the not so distant future, and to thank him for his support as well.
And you just said then about security wanting to get you out. So I assume from that instant at the time, when they didn't know that the guy who he was, they must have thought it was a security risk, and they needed to get you out for safety.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of just got a bit intense, and what should have been, that was a blip on stage, but what then should have been, all right, let's enjoy the rest of the show, became a real, we need to get her out of the building. And I had to leave before the show had even finished, before Netta had finished her winning song, before I got the chance to say goodbye to any of my fellow artists and friends, again, from that competition. And that's where the repercussions of what he did on stage just took on a much, much more serious tone, which was just such a shame. Not that it clouds my whole experience, of course, but I had to leave. I had to leave the arena very quickly and rather seriously, with a lot of security around me, and it was just all a bit intense, all a little bit sad.
I mean, you were offered the chance to perform again, and I mean, half of the people that I've seen online were saying, go for it. This is an amazing opportunity. You're going to get your song out there again. That could do well for us. But then the other half were saying, no, actually, I think you've done that song justice. There's no need to perform it again. If anything, you've created such a special moment by that determination afterwards. So, what for you made you say no?
Well, that was discussions that I was having with the team, and obviously we were having those. We had to decide quickly. We were under pressure from the EBU to decide that quickly, and I was still reeling from what had just happened on stage. Now, again, the performer instinct in me. If the best decision was to go again, I would have gone again. I would have dried my eyes, got back on stage. We would have done it, but my team was so proud. The reaction on their faces from what had just happened, although that, of course, they were shocked and upset for me as well. They were so proud by the recovery and the sort of the resilience in the last part of that track. And that can't be replicated with a second go. And the only thing we can sort of compare it to is athletic sort of competitions or the Olympics or whatever, where you prep for 6 months, you have your 3-minute shot under whatever circumstances, warts and all. And I've had my 3-minute shot, warts and all. And to do that again didn't seem like we didn't need to go again. That's just what in that moment we decided. Yeah. And
I mean, just looking at the support you're having, I think, because I know you're going on tour, and I really think you're going to have a lot of people there. And I know you're actually going to be close to us. You're going to be performing in Bristol as well, which I am 100% coming to, because like in your biography on Twitter, come and see Storm uninterrupted is what you've put, which I love.
Oh, thank you. Well, Bristol is going to finish the tour, actually. That's going to be the 22nd of July at the Redgrave Theatre, and that's going to be a special one, because I'll have been around all these other places. We start in Redditch on Sunday, and it's going to... I'm going to meet a lot of lovely people. We did a gig, actually, the first night in London, which was only a few days after I'd landed back after Lisbon. And it was sold out, a very emotional crowd, really special. And I just can't wait to now repeat that over the dates across the country, finishing in Bristol. It'll be amazing to see you there, and it's going to be really good.
And that's from, you got a date in a couple of days' time, and it goes through June and July. And you're going to be in loads of different places, from Crewe to Redditch, and of course Bristol. So people can get to see you there and watch your music perform uninterrupted. So what can we expect from you now as well in regards to upcoming music and upcoming projects? Is there anything that you can tell us about?
Absolutely. Well, my new single, the follow-up single, which is out midnight tonight as we're recording this. But
Wow.
yeah, that'll be out now, I believe, when your listeners hear this. So yeah, the new single called "Taking It Over" is out, and I can't wait for people to hear that. That's so exciting, and I really hope people enjoy it as much as I do. I wrote it last year. It was always the plan to bring it out now, but I'm hoping that people get on board with the kind of summery vibe it's got. And then this concert series, this tour, this Eurovision Unplugged concert, which is a nod of thanks to the amazing Eurovision world that's supported me so much and still is. But putting the songs in a more kind of like a live lounge setting, stripping it back to a kind of SuRie style, which is the piano-led singer-songwriter world with a beautiful string trio, and just get into the focus of the lyrics and the melody of all these amazing songs that Eurovision has blessed us with over the years. Some classics, some winners from the UK as well, and then perhaps some surprises that people maybe aren't expecting. But it's a really special show, and I hope that people can go on the SuRie website and get all the details and the dates and tickets and just come and have a lovely time with me.
And do you know what I love is when you hear you talk, a lot of musicians that you interview, they record their songs and that's it. But you have so much creativity, and it seems like you have a lot of say in regards to the music, to the setup, to the writing of music. You're so passionate, and that comes through when you talk, and that's what I absolutely love. And I can't wait to hear the new album, new music, and we're going to play that song after the interview as well, and people can hear your new stuff.
Thank you. That's so kind of you. I mean, it is what I absolutely love to do, and when I'm able to create in whatever capacity, you know, my life career has gone in all sorts of weird and wonderful ways, but all within music and performance, and it does make me so happy. So I just can't wait to share it with you all now. It's brilliant.
Are you from a musical family at all? Did you grow up with other people in the family being musicians?
No. Sorry, that's not quite true. My 3 siblings, my lovely brothers, all 4 of us are very musical, but our parents aren't at all. And we don't know where that draw for all 4 of us to kind of create and be in the arts, we don't know where that came from. Because even in an extended family, it's all quite science-based or engineering. And my beautiful mum was a primary school teacher, and my dad was a solicitor, and that was it. But
different.
Completely different, and they had a piano at home, and all 4 of us were really drawn to it, and to act and to dance and to sing and play lots of different instruments in the orchestra, and music was something really for all 4 of us. We're not sure where it came from, but it was a wonderful house to grow up in and share our music, definitely.
And you just said about your siblings, your brothers there. Obviously, the opening line in Storm is "Hey, hey, brothers."
Yeah.
Did you think of them when you were performing that song and you were singing it live? Were they going through your mind?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so
because
touching.
I tell you what, yeah, but they are so wonderful, and I'm so close to all of them. I'm very, very lucky. But also on a gig that is the scale of Eurovision, so huge. The arena is so electric with so many tens of thousands of people. You can't fathom, obviously, the hundreds of millions that are watching at home. That's too much to process, although it's your job to try to. But there's the lights and the set and the costumes and the running order, and everything's quite, hyper. And the phrase we always used backstage was, everything is hurry up and wait. That is the phrase in TV. You have to rush, and then you have to wait for ages. And when you're delivering a song, whatever it is, whatever the message is, if you get distracted by some of that outside noise and fuss, although it's good noise and it's good fuss, you can really lose that natural connection. So there was nothing better for me than that opening line to directly address that to my brothers, because it kept me grounded, it kept me emotionally connected, it kept me as truthful as I possibly could be in that moment, to think about something very true and very real to me, which is my family. So in that moment, it was incredibly useful, honestly.
Well, honestly, I'm not just saying this, but talking to you has been amazing, but I genuinely, when I was watching you, I think I can speak on behalf of the UK, we all just fell in love with you, and I love how passionate you are about your music. Your voice is incredible, the song was amazing, and I think you're going to do extremely well moving on from Eurovision now for the rest of your career. I think you're going to have a lot of people that go to your show, and I think the single's going to do very well. So thank you so much for joining us on Radio Winchcombe. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you for having me. And you'll have to come say hi at the Bristol show, because it'd be lovely to put a face to the voice as well. It'd be great to meet you. But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers.
Thanks, SuRie. Bye-bye.